Good afternoon, Canastota. I'm Sean Becerra, Superintendent of the Canastota Central School District. Today is Friday, May 15th, and this is the 6th edition of our weekly school operations video update. Let's start by reviewing updated numbers on our meal distribution operation. I'm pleased to announce that through Thursday, May 14th, 66,138 meals have been served to our students, with an average of 675 students receiving meals on a daily basis since the beginning of the school shutdown period. Today's distribution will once again include meals for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Thanks to all of our staff for helping us continue this vital service. Last week I talked about the fact that we will be announcing specific plans for end-of-year ceremonies on a rolling basis as events approach in the coming weeks. There's no doubt about it. Our students, particularly our seniors, are dealing with unusual circumstances as we head into the home stretch of the school year. But out of this adversity, some very creative ways to recognize our students have emerged. Thanks to a collective effort between the Canastota Alumni Association, Canastota Teachers Association, and the Canastota Retired Teachers Association, each senior is being honored with their own sign, complete with their picture and a congratulatory statement, posted on the lawn in front of the district office right next to our digital sign. The display has provided a terrific visual display that's reminding our students that even though they're not with us at school every day like they typically would be, we are all still thinking about them and supporting them. So if you have a chance, drive by the school and check out our senior display. It's been a popular attraction in the last couple of days. Shifting gears, I'd like to draw your attention to our academic plan, or as the state would call it, the Continuity of Instruction Plan. This plan is a comprehensive outline of how Canastota Schools is operating while our school is functioning remotely. If you're interested, please take a few minutes to check out this plan, which is posted on the district website. It's important to note that this plan will be a living document, meaning that our plan will continue to evolve and get better as we continue to search for ways to improve our effectiveness in promoting learning remotely. Speaking about continued improvement, next week I'll update you on our new goal-setting platform that will enhance our ability to improve learning to students and adults across the district. Finally, as I record this week's update, we are still awaiting the budget update from the governor and his budget director regarding the status of state aid to schools. Even if there is an announcement today, we'll need to go through a thorough review of the details of any statements issued. We've learned from experience that when statements come from Albany, the important information is found in the details of what is committed to writing, not what is necessarily spoken by the governor. For that reason, we will carefully review the details of any budget statements, and business official Nick Panuccio and I will put together another video update with relevant details. In the meantime, please remember some key dates that we mentioned in last week's update. Number one, the annual vote is now scheduled for Tuesday, June 9th by absentee ballot only. Number two, the 2020-21 proposed budget will be adopted at a meeting on May 21st. And number three, the public hearing is scheduled for 6 p.m. on Thursday, May 28th. The hearing will be live streamed. Again, the state budget situation is evolving rapidly, so a video update on this subject will be forthcoming in the next couple of days. In the meantime, stay safe and go Raiders. Good afternoon and welcome to our Community Connections update for Friday, May 15th. As you know, we've been using legendary basketball coach John Wooden's Pyramid of Success as a way of showing the importance of certain personal characteristics that lead to success. In unusual circumstances, such as the current pandemic, the importance of these qualities is magnified tremendously. In times like these, the schools, businesses, and communities that possess these qualities will separate themselves from those less adaptable. For today's example, we'll look at Wooden's pyramid building block called skill. In order to provide you with a great local example of someone who demonstrated this quality from the Canastota community, I turn to longtime Canastota community member, longtime teacher, and a driving force behind the Canastota Canal Museum, Mr. Joe DiGiorgio. Joe's knowledge of the history of this community is incredible, so I know I went to the right person to get great information. In talking to Mr. DeGiorgio about the rich history of Canastota, one name kept coming up: Charles Spencer. I realized that Charles Spencer, member of the storied Spencer family from Canastota and the town of Lenox region during the 1800s, was the perfect person to demonstrate the characteristic of skill acquisition that Coach Wooden referenced in his Pyramid of Success. Did you know that Spencer was the first American microscope manufacturer in the country, right here in Canastota? That's right, Canastota made the very first microscopes made in the United States. In fact, in 1839, Spencer published a catalog to further his microscope business to the outside world. So he was an entrepreneur in addition to being an innovator in the scientific world. He also made some of the first telescopes ever made in the country, and actually made telescopes that were used at nearby Hamilton College. It's amazing to think that someone as important to scientific research and discovery as the microscope had his roots right here in our town. Spencer is just one example of the many that we'll spotlight in the coming weeks. But it makes you ask the question, who's the next person that leaves this type of imprint on the world from Canastota? Well, there's no doubt that natural intelligence and having an aptitude for certain types of learning plays a role in developing skill. There is also compelling evidence that skill acquisition is largely dependent on choice. Charles Spencer did not have the level of formal schooling available to students in today's era, yet he created something that would allow generations of students to learn about science. His accomplishments came about as an extension of his childhood hobby of grinding lenses, something he was fascinated by and enjoyed doing. Skill acquisition is maximized when talent and ability is enhanced by tapping into interests, by finding the intersection between hard work and a laser-like focus on learning and improvement. So what is overall achievement attributed to? Authors David Perkins and Lauren Resnick's research note that achievement could be quantified in the following breakdown. About 25% of achievement is attributed to actually to natural IQ. About 25% is attributed to opportunities and experiences that people have. And about 50% is attributed to their level of self-efficacy and self-esteem. So in other words, your belief in yourself that you can achieve at a high level. The story of Charles Spencer is a great reminder that you don't need perfect or ideal circumstances to accomplish great things. Is natural IQ important? Sure, but not as much as most people would have guessed. As much as 75% of what makes up achievement comes from things we can control to some degree. With dedication to learning and by tapping into the resources all around us, any of us can acquire and build upon our skill level. In the case of Charles Spencer, the one-time Canastota resident, his dedication to learning and curiosity led to literally world-altering innovation. As we continue to learn about our local community, Charles Spencer provides us yet one more example of why Canastota is known as the hometown of champions. Today's example shows us we don't just have a history of being the best in the boxing ring, but in the classrooms and laboratories as well. Until next week, Canastota, let's continue to live up to our great legacy, and out of this difficult situation, let's come out of this challenge stronger than ever. After all, being the best isn't a hope or a wish. Our history tells us it should be our expectation. Go Raiders!